Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. We're the Road to Glory podcast. I'm Juliet.
And I'm Cecilia, and today's episode is all about F1 Academy because we have finally had our first race.
I'm so happy. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's nice on this weekend. It was just F1 Academy that we could focus on and put all our effort into. So
yeah,
it's a lot easier than having to follow both F2 and F3 and F1.
yeah.
So it's
It was
really
really nice.
exciting. Yeah, it's so exciting that the championship has just started. And it was a very interesting weekend.
It really was. There are a lot of talking points for sure, and we'll make sure to talk about the biggest points or what we find to be interesting to talk about. And hopefully this episode will be more structured because, as you say, we only have F1 Academy, where last episode was all over the
All over
place
the
with
place.
F3, lack of sleep. I also have a lack of sleep right now because I actually woke up for race 2. I was dedicated.
That's very impressive. I was like, you know what? I really just need a weekend where I sleep the entire night.
Yeah,
So I woke up for F1, which was at 7 a.m. And then after F1, I went and watched F1 Academy.
yeah, like a normal person. So that's great. Yeah, and obviously now we have a couple of weeks off from the feeder series, F2, F3, and F1 Academy. Obviously, F2 and F3 will be back in Bahrain, and we will have to wait a little while longer for F1 Academy because they are not back until Jeddah. But it's still next month, and it's not like we have
Yes.
to wait ages.
No. It is annoying that they have such big gaps between their races. But between that, we'll have F2 and F. We'll have lots to cover. So
Exactly, we'll be fine. And
yeah.
obviously, just to get started with this first week of F1 Academy being back, my first thought is my brain literally had to recalibrate itself to remember who is driving in which car, because every time I'm seeing the stake or the McLaren, I'm like, oh, that is that driver, but no, they're
They're
obviously
not
not
there
drivers.
anymore.
No.
No, because I was getting so confused with the Tommy Hilfiger driver with Albert. I
Yeah.
was like, what? But that's not. And then also with
Mm,
who's driving for McLaren, and at
yeah.
least Dorian's still in Mercedes, so we have that, and we still have Meyervug. But a
Yeah.
lot of them, I get so confused.
Yeah, same. And some of the returning drivers also changed who they are supported by. Like Chloe Chambers was
Exactly, she was
Haas
from
driver, now
Haas.
she drove Ford. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a mess, and we'll have to get used to it because obviously, as we have mentioned in our what is F1 Academy episode, they do only have 2 seasons in F1 Academy, so every single season will be like this, really getting used to new drivers.
Exactly. You know what I also find is really difficult is
Mhm.
knowing which drivers drive for which teams, because obviously their
Yeah.
liveries are completely who they're supported by. So I get
Mm.
so confused. I'm like, are these people teammates? Because I can't
Yeah.
tell.
No, exactly. It really takes some time to really relearn almost who is driving for whom, because obviously also with the timetable, it's only the logo from who they're supported by. It's not the team they're actually
It's not
operating and
Campos
racing for.
or ART or whatever. So it's I'm I get quite confused in that sense. But I think it'll
Yeah,
just take a couple of races to get used to and to
yeah.
understand who's with what team on who's
Mm.
driving for whom.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll as we go along actually remember it, and maybe that could be an episode to do on the podcast, talking about the different teams, so actually talking about who is driving for whom, maybe that would be.
Yeah,
And
it could be, because I feel like if we're struggling to
mm,
know who's driving for whom, it has to be a universal thing. Unless we're
yeah,
just
exactly.
like dumb. I don't know.
Well, maybe. Who knows? But probably we're not the only ones
Yeah,
struggling.
exactly.
um, yeah, but to get into the action of the weekend, normally a lot of stuff doesn't happen in free practice, but I feel unfortunately we had to start at free practice because it wasn't perfect session for particularly obviously the block in free practice.
Yeah.
Rafael, or Rafaela, was warming up her tires, and Leah Block was on a flying lap behind her and like pulled out to like pass her, but Rafaela hadn't seen her, so she like just basically smacked right into her, and unfortunately Leah obviously crashed, and that destroyed her car, unfortunately, so she couldn't participate in qualifying later that day.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate
Mm.
because I mean I love Leah as well, and I was really hoping that she'd have a good weekend. But I mean, she came back after that, after not qualifying, but it's like a punch in the gut to not be able to qualify
Mm.
and show exactly what pace she has.
Exactly, because it is an unfortunate start to the season, not being able to qualify. Obviously, there are only 7 race weeks for F1 Academy, so like missing out on qualifying for one is awful. Obviously, she did manage to like do the races, and she did get some points as well, I
Yeah.
believe. So that's a good recovery. And obviously, Rafaela did get a 3-place grid drop for both races, so she was the one to blame,
Yeah,
unfortunately. But it was
exactly.
like, obviously an incident, but it was her fault.
Yeah, unfortunately, stuff like this often happens in feeder
Mm,
series. It's just mistakes that happen.
mm.
But and it's just unfortunate because you have one qualifying for both races. So because she couldn't take part in that, it was for both races. But I definitely think that the next couple of races, that let's see what Leah can do.
Yeah, it will be interesting because obviously she is in her second season, driving for ART again, supported
Yeah.
by Williams. So it'll be interesting to see what she can do. Yeah, and then obviously moving into qualifying, there's a reason why I'm wearing my Tommy Hilfiger shirt thing, and that's because obviously the driver of qualifying for me at least
Yes.
was Alba Larsen, supported by Tommy Hilfiger, literally qualifying P3, which was insane by her as a
Especially
16-year-old
on
rookie.
debut. On
Yeah,
debut.
exactly. Mm.
Insane.
It was literally so insane. Obviously, I am supporting her as a fellow Danish person, but I actually didn't have like that high expectations for her, which I feel like apparently is a trend because I said the same about Noah Strömstad in F3.
You just
But
have
like,
no faith. You have no
no,
faith. Where is
but
your
here's
faith?
the issue. I'm forgetting that we are me, Alba, Noah, all
Yeah.
Danish, and like Danish people are like very known to like playing everything really down, like saying, "Oh, it's fine," and then it's
Yeah.
like you are P1 or something. Like
Yeah.
so,
Like, I could do better.
yeah, exactly. Because like I forgot, like I watched an interview, a Danish interview Alba did
Yeah.
before the weekend, and she was like, "Oh, I just hope to be like around the middle, like I'm probably P12 or something." Like that was what she said. Yeah. So like obviously knowing that she's Danish, she is apparently just playing it down
Yeah,
because
exactly.
she surpassed every expectation, also her own, it seems, because she was very much like, oh, nobody expects anything of me because I'm new. And like, obviously, she hasn't raced a lot in F4 cars. She has only like done a couple of races in F4 in India and also like a couple of races in Formula Winter Series earlier this year. But like, that was insane. Like, being right behind Doyan Pan, which is like obviously one of the quickest drivers in the field.
Exactly. She was like, when I was watching qualifying, it was such a surprise. Like, she came out
Yeah.
of nowhere for me because she was completely not on my radar. I thought, she'd be around the midfield, maybe scoring some points, but to qualify P3 like that is really, really impressive.
Yeah, it really is. And also, like after qualifying, I saw on MP's Instagram, obviously she's driving for MP, that she said, "Oh, she did a pretty good lap in qualifying," and I'm just like, "How are you saying this is pretty good?" Like again, very Danish of her, but it was an amazing lap, honestly, on her debut.
Completely.
And other than that, obviously, Maya Werk, her teammate, took pole. So MP has obviously found something with this
Yeah.
new lineup they have. That's really interesting.
I feel like Maya Vuk must have known something when she was like, no, I'm going to leave Prema. I'm going to go to
Yeah,
M.
true.
And then
That's
she
what
gets
happened
pole.
here.
Like,
It's insane,
okay.
obviously, because for those who didn't follow the series last year, MP were kind of struggling-ish. They didn't really, obviously, I don't think they took pole at any point, but obviously also like Abby Pulling and Doyan
Yeah,
Pan
just
really
dominating.
dominated. Yeah. So it was difficult for the other teams to get up there. But like starting off the season that strong is like really positive to see.
Definitely.
And obviously, then with qualifying, the top 8 got reversed for race 1.
Yeah.
So the person starting from pole for race 1 was a driver. Apparently, I said her name wrong because I still don't know how you pronounce her name. Because obviously it's Nina. I said Gateman, but it sounds like very strange in Dutch.
Oh,
And I feel like the commentator on the first day on Friday tried to
yes.
say the Dutch way, like, I don't know, Gateman or something. It was just,
Oh,
I don't know how to say her name anymore. I'm confused.
me too. Because I
Yeah.
also thought it was Gateman, but like that's coming from hearing it from like a British person saying it, and sometimes they don't say like the names completely right. So
No.
maybe if it is in Dutch, it's different.
I don't know. It sounded very like, it's like almost like there was an H in her name. So I don't know. But Nina Gateman, we will say, but like
Yeah.
Nina Hardeman, something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, she started from pole, and like she honestly drove an incredible race until, unfortunately, if we like bring in the unlockometer in this
Yes.
episode from last, like she's way over on the unlucky side
I
because
mean, with
she did so well
there were
until the
3
car stopped
safety
working.
cars in the
Mm,
race. Okay.
yeah,
And on every single restart, she was leading and she pulled away from the field and she did such an incredible job. And
she
just to
really
have
did.
such an unlucky moment,
Yeah.
just like towards the end of the race, oh, must be awful. I felt
Yeah.
horrible for her and I was watching. I can't even imagine how she would feel.
No, because honestly, she deserved that win so much. Obviously, she is one of the rookies coming into this season as well, which you maybe might forget because obviously, like we are so used to seeing that Alpine leading out in the front, and obviously
Yeah.
she's the new Alpine driver, so it felt very familiar seeing her there. But she did an incredible job considering that she's a rookie. I know that she said that she had been working a lot on her race pace, which you can definitely see because obviously she did race better than she qualified down in 8th, obviously.
Yes.
But it was very unfortunate that she had a technical failure on her car because
Yeah.
she did everything she had to do to win that race.
She was incredible. But you know, it just shows that she has pace, and she has racecraft. So she's somebody to watch for the next race.
Definitely. And obviously, you mentioned the 3 safety cars, and obviously, race 1 was very much just like yellow flag, safety car, green flag, and yellow flag, safety car. Like that
It's
was.
because on every single restart, towards like the back of the pack, something would go wrong. Somebody would
Yeah.
hit someone.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for the wild card.
Yeah, Shi Wen, I think she's called.
Yes, I mean she had a moment and just got
Yeah.
beached and she couldn't
Yeah.
move off the curb. And I just like, it's annoying because you only have those 2 races to show what you're capable of and to be
Yeah.
like not really have many racing laps done.
Mm,
Most of her laps were done under the safety car that she did do. So
yeah.
I felt really bad for her.
I felt really bad for her as well because yeah, obviously that was it for her in F1 Academy this year. Like obviously we don't know, maybe she will get a full-time seat next year, but she wasn't like one of those drivers that got to really show what she can do in this wildcard thing. But I also like that's something I find interesting because it was something I was a bit concerned about going into this year because obviously last year, Prema was the team that operated the wildcard
Mm.
car, and like
Yeah.
they are known to be like the best team, and like having a new team in an F1 Academy being high tech being the ones that operate the car now, obviously it may not change anything and it might not be like related to why Shi Wen
Yeah.
didn't do well, but still it's kind of concerning if they like are getting to grips with the new
With the
car.
new car, and you have
Yeah.
someone whose hopes lie on this and pretty much a rookie, hasn't really done
Yeah.
much.
Mm. So yeah, but obviously we'll wait and see if the other future wildcards will be struggling as well because we were really impressed. Like obviously last year with the wildcards, obviously multiple of them having full-time seats this year as well. So hopefully the next couple of wildcards will have better luck, maybe. We
Yes.
hope that. And obviously, so yeah, Shi Wen was one of the drivers that created a safety car.
Yes.
I believe in the race, wasn't it like Chloe Chong that also like hit the back of another car and
Yes.
created a safety car?
Yes.
What I wanted to say about that is I feel so bad because I feel like there is a Charlotte Tilbury curse on
Oh,
that car. Because like thinking back to last year, we saw Lola Lovenfuss driving that car, crashing into people so many
all the
times.
time.
Yeah, and like now we have Chloe Chong in, which I honestly believe she's a good driver. Obviously, she has had a year out from F1 Academy,
Yeah.
but it's not like she didn't race. Like she
No.
did race in British F4 last season, I believe. But like race one, she like drives into the back of someone because the tires are cold, gets 10th place, not 10th place, 10
10
seconds penalty.
seconds.
Yeah, and like not only that, but in race two, she does the same, like hits somebody from the back, and like 10-second penalty again. Like, what is going on here with
Who
that Charlotte
has
Tilbury?
cursed Charlotte Tilbury? Because I want to
Yeah,
have a word. I want to have a word with you.
yeah,
Because why?
it's not okay.
No.
It's really not okay because it's so weird. Honestly, I hope Chloe Chong and Charlotte Tilbury have a better race in
They need
Jeddah.
to sage their car or something. They need to
Yeah,
do something to it.
they do. I feel like the universe was like the car is looking too good. Like it.
Yeah, the livery's too amazing. We gotta
Yeah,
take it out. People can't look at
exactly.
it for too long.
Yeah, it's very bad.
I think Campos did really well this weekend. That was something that I noted, especially in race one. They had a 1-2 with
Yeah.
Alicia and Chloe, which you know I love Chloe Chambers, and I
We
was
love the Chambers.
really happy to see the weekend that she had, because I know she wasn't who I predicted in my
Mm,
predictions for F1 Academy, but I did say to watch out for her. And
exactly.
she's proving us right. I feel like with our predictions with F1 Academy, we low-key slayed. Like
Yeah,
we're doing at the moment, we're
at the
doing
moment.
well. I mean, I went with very obvious. I went with Dorian Pants. So like, you know,
Yeah,
maybe I don't deserve that much credit, but like at the moment, we're doing well. Let's not curse
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah. Hopefully it will continue, or like honestly, I also hope that Alba will keep surpassing my expectations and like she will do well because obviously I didn't predict her either. She's like fourth in the championship right now, I believe. So it's not like crazy or anything, but like
It's still impressive.
still really good. And obviously, like talking about predictions, obviously I predicted Alicia Palmowski as the driver champion, and like she literally won the first race, like her first race. It's
Exactly.
insane. It's wild. She did really well. Um, and yeah, she's another standout rookie for sure, which was like also maybe some people didn't expect it, obviously her going in as a rookie, but obviously I did because she did really well in British F4, becoming vice champion last season. So like she's really showing that obviously she has great race pace. She obviously could do better in qualifying, but like I think most drivers feel like they could do that.
Yeah.
And wasn't bad. She would
No.
qualified like what, fifth or something, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but I mean,
No,
to be coming in as a rookie and still qualifying like towards the front of the field is very impressive.
it really is. Definitely the rookies really did impress quite a bit. Some other stuff happening in race one to like finish that off. Obviously, we already mentioned Leah Block and her being unlucky. Unfortunately, she did cause a small crash with her teammate Aurelia Nobels as well in race
Yeah.
one.
You know, Aurelia, just if we look at the whole weekend,
Yeah,
she is on our bad luckometer as well.
very
She,
much so. It's very
yeah, so
unfortunate for her.
I know, because both times she was taken out, not because of herself. She either
No,
crashed into someone else because she couldn't avoid them, or someone crashed into
mm,
her. So I feel really bad
exactly.
for her.
Yeah, she was even over the radio in race two, like being,
She was
oh,
like,
I'm
"I'm
so
so
unlucky. Yeah, I feel so bad for her. I hope she has a better time when we come to Jeddah.
I agree.
Yeah, because obviously moving on to race 2, she did get taken out as well. And oh my god, that moment. First off, let's start with before race 2 started. We have like team radio to Tina Hausman. And for those who like listened to our previous F1 Academy episode, I was being kind of critical of Tina Hausman. And like honestly, she in qualifying she did alright. Like it seems kind of bad-ish because she was ninth, but honestly she was so close to having that reverse grid pole.
Paul.
Really close behind Nina Gardeman, or however you pronounce the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get to race 2, and like we get the team radio saying like, oh, remember like drive together with your teammate, because obviously she started right behind Nina, and like she's not your enemy, so like help each other.
Exactly.
Cut to the first lap, I think, and she outbrakes herself and obviously spins around with Nina.
Yeah.
Taking them both to the back of the grid. So
Very,
unfortunate.
very unfortunate.
Yeah, that was painful to watch.
Honestly, because you're like, it's what you don't want to see. You never want to see teammates taking each other out.
Wow.
It's
And also like Nina got really mad over the radio, like not understanding, like how did Tina crash into me?
I know.
Essentially.
I would like to hear that debrief afterwards. I hope
I would love to hear that.
I hope everything's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
like I can understand in the heat of the moment she was probably angry, but I mean,
Yeah,
mistakes.
for sure. But yeah, like emotions are high because also like Nina could have won the race in race 1, so like she's upset about that. And then she's obviously starting 8th in race 2, and like she felt like she had good pace, and she also like showed that coming from the back of the field, unfortunately, after she spun around because of Tina. So definitely like she was feeling like she could have gotten more out of the race, but like it was taken away from her slightly. So
yeah,
hopefully things will be better. Like a lot of people were just like, fingers crossed, things will be better in Jeddah.
yes, yeah,
For sure. But obviously that was not like the only thing that happened around that incident as well, because that is where Chloe Chong was part of what happened again with
yes,
obviously with that was with Joanne Ciconte, I think you pronounce her name, like attacking her and like making her crash, and then like she was the one that Aurelia Nobels and Nicole, I don't remember her last name, or couldn't avoid Joanne, so like they were out of the race as well, unfortunately.
yeah. It was really unfortunate. It was chaos. There was
It
so
really was
many of them.
chaos.
I was like, whoa, what is happening?
Yeah.
Who are these people? Like, who's out? Who's not?
Yeah, exactly.
But on a side note, I love Joanne Chiconte or Chiconte, however you say her surname.
Yeah.
I love her livery. I know it's
so good.
supported by F1 Academy, so it's got the blue and the pink and the white kind of. I could not stop staring at her car. I was like, I want a car that looks like that. I love that. So that's just
it looked so
my
good.
favorite livery from the weekend was probably hers and the wildcard liveries, because I loved hers as well. That was stunning.
The wildcard livery was absolutely stunning. Like that was my favorite for sure. So I feel like for some reason there's a curse on the best liveries.
Best liveries.
Yeah, because Joanne had a horrible weekend as well with bad luck. Like why are every driver just at the bad side of the logometer? Like I feel like not a lot of people are on the good side of this.
Honestly, the only person who really had, there were two kind of who had great weekends, was Chloe Chambers and probably Maya Vug, you could say. They probably had the best weekends. I mean, Dorianne also had a good weekend, but she didn't like completely dominate. I felt like Chloe Chambers was really up there the whole time.
Yeah, Chloe was really a standout for sure, and like obviously she's also like 3rd in the championship now, so like it's only one race weekend, but still it is important to like start off the year strong.
I also think because we have such high expectations of Dorianne, even though she had a great weekend, because she wasn't completely winning every single race, she kind of falls to the back of my mind. Whereas Chloe Chambers, I had expectations of her, but I didn't think she'd be like this at the front. So that's why she's like my driver of the weekend.
Yeah, I get that, honestly. I feel like it's not a surprise for people maybe that Alba was definitely like my driver of the weekend because like she really impressed. Obviously you can discuss which of the rookies were the most impressive because obviously Alicia Palmowski did win a race which was honestly incredible, and she also like did have a good race too. So yeah, she did amazing. But obviously, just seeing Alba like being so quick right from the beginning was really amazing because that also really shows that obviously her race pace wasn't as good, but like as mentioned, she hasn't raced a lot in F4 cars, so
Yeah.
that will definitely be something she can learn. But like that pure natural of like the speed is like really impressive and important to have to begin with because like the race pace is something you can will learn for
You can
sure
work
because
on.
yeah, because she was also like pretty cautious, I think, especially in race two. But oh my god, she did so well keeping Chloe Chambers behind her like for so long
I
until like
know
the
their
last
fight
lap.
in race 2
Yeah,
was insane.
it was so good, honestly. It was so impressive to see. It was a good battle, and had it been any other than the Chloe Chambers that got past her, I would have been so mad because I
Angry.
wanted that podium so much. But like,
But we
it'll
love
come.
Chloe. We
Yeah, we
love
love
Chloe in
Chloe,
this
so I'm like not
household.
mad because it was her. Had it been somebody else, it would have been another story. Talking about also like Alba's teammate Joanne, which as you loved her livery, she was unlucky. Race one, just quickly going back to that, she was so unlucky with like two 10-second penalties. Like that was stopping go penalties she had to
I
serve.
know. It was really bad luck for her this weekend.
Yeah, it was one to forget for sure because the first penalty was like a start infringement,
Yeah.
which I haven't really got cleared what happened. Maybe something the team did probably. And then obviously, again, either the team told her to pit or she just came in. I don't know, but
Yeah.
she served the penalty on the safety car, which obviously isn't
Which
allowed.
no, so then she
Yeah.
got another penalty.
Yeah, it was a mess, honestly. Talking about a mess, the track itself was a mess for race two. Obviously, with the being oil all over like the start finish straight, and like
Yeah.
dust covered it to like
Soak it
maybe
up.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I also like they had a rolling start instead of a standing start, which was unfortunate. But like the dirty side of the grid was literally dirty from
Dirty. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, from everything. And yeah, obviously that's made Dorian get a really nice slipstream up to Maya, and like she just took the lead immediately. So that was a very controlled race from Dorian as well.
It was. It's
Yeah,
kind of the Dorian that we're used to seeing.
exactly. It is also interesting, obviously, because I predicted Prema to be the best team. Obviously, they had some not so good things going on further
Yeah.
behind. But I still think that they are like a really obviously they're traditionally good teams, but also they really know what they're doing because apparently Doyen or like Prima, I don't know if it was for all the drivers, but anyway, Doyen had like a new set of tires that she had saved that she hadn't used in qualifying. So
Okay.
like she was on fresher tires, and that
Yeah.
it
That
really did
helps.
help her in the start. Like obviously she seemed to have more grip, like being able to pull off and move on the outside and start the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess obviously with Doyan, we talked about like you didn't really feel like she had as big of a weekend as maybe some of the other drivers.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like she was also like slightly fortunate in race one, getting the fourth place because obviously as the race finished, she did cross the line in fifth, but unfortunately Alba did get a 10-second penalty, which I feel like some of these penalties are kind of hard because it
10
was like
seconds is a lot.
yeah, because if you see the incident that happened that she got these 10 seconds for, she did hit Emma Felbermeyer from behind, but it
Mm.
wasn't like she crashed or anything. She maybe like lost the position to Alba because of it, which is of course like it is Alba's fault, but like nothing
Yes.
major happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
so
feel
that
like
what do you
where
want
are
to say?
the 5 second penalties? Why do
Yeah,
they keep giving 10 second penalties, and it's a
mm,
lot in a race.
it
So
really is.
I petitioned to bring back 5 second penalties. Obviously
Yeah,
they deem that these incidents have been harsh enough to deal out a 10 second penalty, but I don't agree with you,
no.
Stuart.
I
Sorry.
want new rules. Change the
Yeah.
rules. Because yeah, I agree, because I believe that the reason why it's a 10-second penalty is like if it is just categorically one driver's fault, it's the 10 seconds, and if it's like partially their fault, it's 5. But like I still feel like honestly with such a short race, 10 seconds is a
It's
lot.
Yeah, because the races are really not that long, and it's like if you get a 10-second penalty, you're 100% going to be right to the back of the grid.
Yeah, like you can easily be dropped out of the points, and Alba was fortunate that she only dropped to 7th. So like she did get points in both races, which was really impressive. But like
Yeah,
it would have been really nice if she could have like finished in 4th in both races. That would have been a very impressive start.
yeah, it would have.
So after this first week of racing, the standings are obviously pretty close, as you would imagine. There's only
Yeah.
been like one qualifying and 2 races. But in the Drivers' Championship, as expected, and very good for your prediction, it is Doyan Pan that is leading, which
Yes,
I'm also really excited for because, like, I am a Mercedes girly, so of course I support her as well.
exactly.
Yeah, and like in second, only like 5 points behind is Maya Bergs. So it would be really interesting if we will like get that. I was about to say teammate battle. It isn't anymore, but
Oh
like
no!
they were teammates last year,
Last
and like yeah, so like seeing how they will do now in separate teams, I honestly think it was a good move for Maya to like change teams because I know that in the preseason we were like kind of questioning what Maya was doing, changing to MP, but it seems to be a very positive thing for her so far,
Definitely.
for sure.
Yeah, so it'll be
And
interesting to
obviously, yeah,
see if the championship battle is between those two or if someone else comes in between them.
yeah, because everything is still open. Obviously, it seemed like Maya was very comfortable with the Shanghai circuit for whatever reason. Like it really, she just got it. Like obviously having such a big margin down to Doyan in qualifying and
Yeah.
the rest of the field in general. Like it was almost half a second down to Doyan. So like she really nailed qualifying. So it'd be interesting to see come other tracks if some of the drivers or some of the other teams nailed that more if that suits
Yeah.
them better. It would be
Yeah.
interesting because like obviously not far behind either we have Chloe Chambers, which we're really excited about. Could be
Yes.
interesting to see what she can do. So obviously like those are the 3 established drivers in the second season, which like they all know like this is the final chance to win F1 Academy. So like everything is on the line for them. They really want to like win this year because it's now or never essentially.
Exactly. So they've got like a bit of like a fire burning beneath them that they're
Mm,
really they're going for it this year because they have to.
exactly. Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see how things play out between those 3, and obviously if any of the rookies can come and like play a part as well, because obviously then in 4th it is Alicia Palmowski, and like right behind her it is Alba Larsen, where it's like obviously they have great pace, both of them. It'll be interesting what they can do at
Yeah.
other new tracks. Obviously this being Shanghai, none of the drivers have been here before, so like maybe they will be at an disadvantage when we get to some of the tracks some of the experienced drivers has been at before, but like that would
Yeah,
be interesting
because
to see.
it was a very like level playing field in
Mm,
Shanghai now because no one
yeah,
had really been there besides obviously
mm.
the wild card. I think she'd driven on there before.
Yeah, I think so
So
too.
it will be interesting to see when we go to other tracks that were on the circuit last year.
Yeah, for sure, to see like how they perform. And as like don't feel like we had like in qualifying we didn't really have any major mistakes by anyone, but like when we come to the next track, Jeddah,
Oh,
that bites harder. Let's just say that
that
with
is
walls everywhere.
because it's a street circuit. You know,
Mm,
the walls are close. There's no room for
yeah.
error, so we tend to see a lot of accidents there.
Yeah, we do. So that would be interesting. And like final point for this episode, obviously now we talked about the driver standings. In the team standings, it is Campos that are leading because they really did have a great weekend with pretty much all the drivers. Obviously, Rafaela did have that grid drop, but like she really did well, like moving forwards in the races as well. So
Yeah,
like they were really performing well, all of them. And then in second, we have MP with like Maya and Alba scoring points. Unfortunately, Joanne didn't get to score any points, but like I'm sure she'll do better in Jeddah, because it was just a lot of unfortunate things that took her out of the races. She could very well have scored for them if
Yeah.
she was so unlucky,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah. And then in third we do have Prema. So there are some hope for our
Our
prediction, because like,
predictions.
we both predicted Prema, because like, again, very safe bet. F1 Academy has only been driving for 2 seasons, and they have literally won both seasons, so
Exactly. So
yeah.
we'll have to wait and see
Hmm.
what happens this season.
Yeah, it will be interesting for sure. I'll be looking forward to seeing more intense battles, because it does seem like we will get a more entertaining season this year compared to last year, because obviously it is fun to see a driver really excelling at what they do. That driver last year being I'd pulling, and then it wasn't her, Doyan Pan. But like it seems like also, like, obviously with the nature of the reverse grid, that we'll get to see more drivers
More.
and see, like, yeah, what they can do.
Yeah, I think it just adds another element of surprise into it. So I'm really looking forward to the next race.
Yeah, I am too. And yeah, so now all the drivers go back to their normal lives
Yeah.
until Jeddah. Like, so will we have to, because like we have obviously a couple of weeks off before the next feeder race.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just so insane, like hearing some of the drivers like, oh yeah, I have to go back to school now, because obviously some of the drivers are very young, so
Yeah,
like they're
it's
still
like
in school.
that must be so weird, like at school and then no, sorry, I have to leave. I have to go to China to go
Yeah,
race.
literally, like that must be insane.
Literally.
Yeah, because I know I saw an interview with Alba being like, yeah, I have to go back home to school and like prepare for exams. Just like, those two different worlds are like so far apart.
Completely. It's quite a crazy life to live.
It really is. But yeah, obviously that was the first race week of F1 Academy, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. And I hope you did as well, and I hope you enjoyed this episode too.
Don't worry, we're not going to be going anywhere. There
No.
will still be an episode out next week.
Mm.
So just come back weekly, checking in on us, even though there's no racing. There's still a lot to discuss about
Yeah.
teams and drivers. And just honestly, this off time gives us time to focus and to learn all the new drivers and teams that we didn't necessarily know in categories before. So it's actually a good opportunity.
Yeah, we'll use the time to do some catching up with all sort of different things. And like, we haven't planned what our next week's episode will be yet, but you can be sure, like, there will be something out there.
Yes.
For sure.
So come back, check on us, follow us on all of our socials. They should be linked wherever you're watching this, somewhere.
Exactly. Just find us, follow us on YouTube, Spotify, on social media like Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Alba was so nice to like repost our post about her. So like, that's so cool.
That was, I was really excited about that. We love you, Alba.
Yeah.
Thank you very
We
much
love
for that.
Alba so much on this platform. That was
We
amazing.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very nice. So to be like Alba and check out our Instagram.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.